Okay, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It is May 14th, 2021, and we're going to get started with our pre-market analysis. We're running a little bit late this morning, so I'm probably going to brush through this pretty quickly. So jump to the super high time frames. Again, nothing looks out of the ordinary here. No signs of exhaustion so far. Our monthly, like I said, if we start breaking down here, but RVI stays up here and it closes in 2 weeks, we will have divergence, but we do have 2 weeks to go for this candle to form. So right now, no signs of exhaustion. Everything looks bullish on our monthly. On our weekly, again, on Monday, we saw we had that bearish indication, and sure enough, we got this 200-point pullback. And currently, right now, there's nothing really to be said. This bar is going to close today, and there will be another sign. Let me just see here. There will be another sign of exhaustion because we did technically make a slightly higher high on price, but we just made a lower high on RVI. So these two candles last week's that closed gave us the first indication of some exhaustion. And this candle, assuming we close today, remember, we have all day and we could have some crazy rally that changes this picture. But if it stays the way it stays right now, we'll have these two bars giving us some divergent indications of some exhaustion here. When we go down to our daily, just to reiterate again, we had that bearish indication on Friday's close, and then we had our big sell-off here. And then remember, yesterday we drew in this potential divergence where you could make the argument from the last major swing low back here that we did have bullish divergence. And that's why when we came into the open yesterday, we had a bullish bias off of the overnight low, and then we were looking to break that 4077 area in order to negate the potential bearish indications that we saw and then have a continuation of this move. So this daily bullish indication is working out so far, and we're up almost 100 points, I think, now. And then there on the 4-hour, we had that same indication. And then remember, yesterday morning, we were looking at the potential of a bearish indication if we could stay below that 77 quarter. But as you can see here, that did not work out, and they broke through 77 quarter right around the open, and we had a nice bullish morning. So right now, currently, what I'm noticing is, again, you can make an argument here. I would prefer to see in this local area a nice clear divergence within the last like 5 or 6 candles, or the 2 or 3. But if you do go back to this previous high in price, you can see that we've made a lower high, but on the indicator, we've made a much higher high. Something else to also keep in mind here is we were staying above the 40 on RVI for quite a while as we pushed and pushed and pushed in this huge bull push. Now that we have this huge sell-off and we break down, we're now hanging out down below the 40 line, down around the 30, and staying below the 60. Now, if this continues to push and we break 60 and get up here, that could just be giving us our first indication that we're back in our bullish market. But right now, a little bit of a sign of exhaustion off the overnight high around 41.38 on our 4-hour candle. Don't see it on the daily. There's not enough resolution over there. And we are coming up to the back end of all this price action, right? So we had the bounce here at 19, and then the bounce here around 39, and we're just happen to have some resistance right in this 38 area. We also do have the 2 CPs right here. So let's go to our 1 hour and see if it's agreeing. Now, we talked about this last night, and because we're in a rush this morning, I can't spend too much time, but we did get a bunch of bearish indications here off of this 26 quarter area. And so we talked about there being a number of bearish indications, and we did get the pullback. The problem is there was no follow through. So it was maybe only a 20-30 point pullback, and now we're pushing up. But what I'm noticing here is another bearish indication on my hourly. So now we have a 4-hour potential bearish indication here, and then the 1 hour had a very clear bearish indication, and we have this clear doji right here. So if I could zoom in a little bit more, you can see huge wick to the upside, and we have not broken above, again, 38. So this 38 is going to be important this morning. So just like 77.25 yesterday was the level we wanted to stay below for our bearish bias, today it looks like it's probably going to be 41.38. So if we can get above that, then we'll continue potentially for a nice bull push. If we can't get above that, we do have the 4 hour and the 1 hour giving us a bearish indication, at least so far. Let's go down to our intermediate time frames now and see what they're telling us. And we'll go to our 30-minute here, and same thing. So here's that bearish indication from last night, and we saw it again on a number of time frames. And let me refresh. Okay. And now off of that 41.38, we also have that bearish indication. Now it's really actually, if you look at it, it's close, but you can definitely see there is a little bit of bearishness here. It's basically a double top on the indicator, but then it's a higher high on price. And so we do have this bearish indication, but I am noticing that off the low, we do have this bearish or this bullish setup happening here. So we've got a higher low in price, but a lower low on the indicator from the last swing low. So we do have that bullish indication and then a really strong looking bullish candle there. So we kind of have our conditions for the morning here. If we can stay below 38, then the bearish indication on our 4 hour, 1 hour, and 30-minute, it could potentially follow through for a deeper pullback. If they can stay above the 41.2275 low over here, then we could potentially start to get bullish indications. Now, when I look at my 60-minute, I do have the same thing. So let me just jump back to that previous time frame. You can also see it here. We pushed to a higher low, and we got a lower low on our indicator. So we've got the conditions. We've got a high and a low that need to be broken in order to negate these signals, and then that will change our bias. So let's go to our 10-minute and see what it's telling us. Hopefully it's agreeing. We do have, again, this, well, not so much on the 10-minute. We don't have that same bullish indication off of the low that I was talking about. But if you, let's see. Yeah, so there's no indication there. Off of that high that we saw on the other time frames where we got a bearish indication, we're really not getting it off that last swing high. If you go all the way back, I guess technically you could say that if you go all the way back to the high that we made at, say, a few hours before midnight Pacific last night, you could make an argument. So I don't love it. I'd like to see off the previous major swing high